Hi, I'm Michelle Dupree, clairvoyant medium, teaching you how to use intuition to improve your health, deepen your relationships, increase your wealth, and find meaningful purpose. And what I want to offer you today is an excerpt from an event that I hosted last night. This is a video from the medium event that I hosted. And the reason I'm sharing it is because a message came through that wasn't just for the people that were there last night. It was a message for all of us. And it was a message from the grandmothers. And it was a very interesting and extremely timely message and pertinent message, I felt. And that's why I really want to share it with everyone. And it's all about how to be a pioneering woman today. And what I thought was the best message they said was how to forge what is right, not what is expected. So I'm going to share this video with you now, and I hope you get as much out of it as we did last night. Thank you. Enjoy. I kind of feel like the grandmothers want to come in tonight. I have like a few of them, actually. Maybe we need to do that. I have a bunch of grandmothers here, and it's the grandmothers specifically. Even my own grandmother is here. And I saw her like in the crowd, and I was like, what's going on? And so I said, is there something that you need us all to know? And I think the grandmothers actually have a collective message for us. And I think it's about Gaia, Earth, and our connection to her. And the new regime that's coming in. So I'm going to see what they want to say. Okay, they're saying this is a time for women to be strong, to assert their power, their knowledge. Those two words, knowledge and power, came right at the same time. So they're saying, open up. Don't be afraid to show up as yourself in the world with your power, with your knowledge. And men have feminine essence too. We'll talk about that. There's a shift of guard, is what they're saying. The times have shifted, and the patriarchy is really no longer viable. And we have to go to a balance now. It's about a balance of, there was a time when women were in charge and it wasn't really honoring of the men. There's been a time when men are in charge, it's not real honoring of the women. We've actually really come to a point of balance now. The whole 2012 shift just represented balance for the masculine and the feminine. But that means women really have to step up and no longer follow a status quo or a standard. No longer adhere to the standard, but to follow a passion. You won't find success in trying to work with the established structures, but you're going to find success in following passions. No matter what that passion is. That passion might be, changing a system and a structure. That passion might be being a mom and taking care of the little ones. It doesn't matter what your passion is, it's that you're following it. And I think their point is that it can't really be about money. I'm like, do you see what's happening in the world? I need to address their message. What they're really prompting us to do is to be more active from the heart, to be more willing to say no to the standard way of living, because it's just not working anymore. So they're saying find where it is that you need to say no to that and do something different. So you don't have to do that. I don't think you have to do that in every aspect. I don't think you have to disrupt your lives completely like that. But I think you have to start taking those little baby steps. It's like we're saying with Arlene as well. It's, here's an element of my life that I know needs to shift, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take not no for an answer. I'm gonna do it the way I want to, and and it's gonna be done the way that I believe in my heart is right. And start making those shifts, those little things. Whether it's, I can only watch my granddaughter 2 days the week and the rest of the time is mine, and that's where I have to hold my boundaries. or whether it's I can no longer work this job anymore and I really want to give to this effort even though it's not, it doesn't necessarily draw me an income. Now, that's a hard thing to do given where we're at today. So that's a double-edged sword, I gotta say. I'm surprised that they're coming in such force because I've never seen them come in such force. I've never seen all the grandmothers. That's a new thing. But I feel like they are really saying, please push this effort forward, make it an effort. And they're saying that these next 3 years, if we go spring to spring to spring over these next 3 springs, we have a great opportunity to go upward instead of downward. A lot of the systems will still continue to crash because they're just going to for a while now, for many years. But we have an opportunity for something new if we're willing to just try it. And so I think over these next 3 years, what they're really saying is just keep giving little baby steps to this sense of passion. My life isn't about, let me hold down the fort first, and then I do what I love. It's more, how do I do what I love, and then the fort will just be maintained, as we develop new ways of being. So that's a hard thing to do, but it takes pioneering. And that's what I'm hearing. Oh, I'm hearing that. I'm hearing that a lot of women in here are pioneering women. I bet you anything you have lifetimes as pioneer women. Those were not just any women. Those were tough women. Your grandmother.
And my mom's mom too.
Ah. Yeah, there's several grandmothers here. There's a bunch of them. I would bet everybody's grandmothers are represented. And they're saying this is a time to be pioneering again, to draw from that root. What I would do with this is I would do my own meditative exploration, and I would see my pioneer lifetime. I would just, and anybody could do that because this skill is not unique to me. It's everybody has the ability to be intuitive. You can go witness any part of yourself. Is it always easy? No. But you can definitely do that. And for me, when I come across a past life that I realize is a pattern, there's something that I need to either gain from it or release from it, something like that, I'll just go inward and I put up a little movie screen for myself. And I go, okay, show me this lifetime. And I'll just see a landscape. And I'll watch it like a movie. I love the movies, so that's always, for me it's like a big movie screen comes down and I just go, okay, landscape, and I see prairie, and then I might see a little, wagon rolling along, and then I'll look at the people and I'll say, okay, who am I in that mix? Am I the mom? Am I the dad? Am I the kid? Am I the horse? Who am I? What am I doing here? And then I'll just watch it unfold. And I'll just play the scene out, and I'll see, well, what was my life about, and was I happy about that? What transpired? Things like that. Now, I may not come to that full vision in that 5 minutes I'm sitting there looking at it, or even 20. It might take me 3 months to really unfold that entire vision. So I'll just keep coming back to it. Even if I'm driving down the road, I'll be in my head thinking about it. Oh, and maybe I'll have like a flash of a vision of the dress I wore or something like that. So, and then I can unfold more of it. So you can continue to kind of unfold those things, and I think this is what the grandmothers are saying. They're saying, find where you were pioneers, and what was your role? How did you feel about what you were doing? I keep seeing Tommy Lee Jones in my head. I love Tommy Lee Jones, who doesn't? But he put out this movie a couple of years ago called The Homesman, and it's a really interesting depiction of the pioneer women. And he's a big proponent of women, anybody that knows him. But this movie, it's a sad depiction, but it's a great depiction of just the hardships that would have been faced and what those women particularly went through. And I think I even heard him at well, he says it in that film, tell the women that are in the cities that think that they can make it out here to stay in the city. It was harder to come out here and do it. So look at the lifetimes where you've done that, where you've forged that path, Because that part of you is being asked to come up again today and to be instituted and back into your life in any way you need to. Hindsight is 20/20, so when we look back at the hardship, maybe we can then figure out how to be pioneering without hardship, or maybe we can recognize that in that period of time, you know, women didn't have much of a say. Today you can. So a lot of that hardship is just negated right there. So it's just go ahead and be it and show up. And what I really think, and grandmothers are echoing this, because I'm also seeing little children, a bunch of little children now. They're saying use your innocence and your vulnerability. When you are communicating what it is that you feel passionate about, come at it from innocence and vulnerability. This is something maybe we should play with in class sometime. Somebody take a note. When we work energy, we have like energy up above our crown. It's our halo. We call it our halo or our crown. And I always keep that energy at neutrality and amusement, because they're just the best energies to have no judgment, but to be able to find the beauty in the design. Maybe we also want to be using some innocence and vulnerability in the crown and setting those colors, and they're whatever is right for you. You can just envision it, you know, as I'm looking at it, vulnerability for me is kind of a peach color. So I'll put a peach color in there. It can be anything. And technically it can be whatever I say it is. If I say, well, I don't like peach so much, that's not my favorite color, I want it to be purple. Then purple now represents my sense of vulnerability. It's whatever I tell it is, symbolism, it's all we're really reading. And we define the symbolism. So, so maybe think about that. Think about as you're going around, have some of that vulnerability and innocence and your neutrality and amusement, and then just speak from that perspective. Maybe that's a good way to, you know, when you really come at it from the heart, and I've practiced this now for many years. I did not used to know this, and it had an adverse effect on my relationships because I couldn't be heard unless I was coming from anger. And I could be heard if it was coming from anger. Everybody could hear me if it was coming from anger. And at one point I realized, my guides said to me, you realize you use anger as a motivation. And I was like, well, that is a terrible motivator. I don't think I want to do that anymore. Thanks, upbringing. Right? Whatever, we're going to change that. And that's when they started to tell me, use innocence and compassion as your forms of communicating. And I really had no idea how to do that, what that looked like. But then I would just start practicing it. And I practiced it with the people I knew would support me unconditionally. And I did not practice it with the people that wouldn't. So let's just say, I definitely, to my wonderful partner, said everything I needed to say, but I said nothing to my mother. So when I'm practicing this, I'm practicing it with people who are going to say, who I can say, I don't know what I'm feeling right now. I need to say everything I need to say. I might not believe it even 2 seconds after I say it, but I need to say it, right? And my guy would go, okay, she's telling me to just shut my mouth. And believe me, I would do the same for him. You have the right to say and express everything you need to say too. And then I would just open up my heart and I would just be like a child. If I'm trying to express how I'm feeling and I don't know, what would I say? Oh no, I think I'm hungry, but I don't know. Maybe I'm emotionally hungry. And then you just kind of let it out. And the more that you get comfortable doing that, the easier it gets. Then when it is time to go to mom and have open communications, you know how to really be vulnerable but still be in your power and know that it's okay. And you can have that, I know that's what you need me to do. It's too much for me to give, and I want to give there, but if I do that, it's going to deplete me, and it's not really giving to you. It's not really creating the best scenario, and that she can't not hear. So they're really saying, come out, follow your passion, forge what is right today, not what is expected. I like that message. Forge what is right today, not what is expected. And it's going to take some vulnerability to be able to do that. So that is a collective message from all the grandmothers.